with OnStar, I know they use them, and you press that button, and in an instant they're checking the telemetry of where you're at. What's the last contact you've had with the company? Is there an issue with the car?
What brand of shoes are you wearing?
And that's where you could bring in a whole bunch of other things and start marketing.
Hey, we noticed your car's on fire. Yep. Would you like to buy a flame retardant suit from Amazon.com?
You can offer them a service offer the next morning, because something had or another.
Jack's
offer.
Car Wash BOGO today.
There you go.
Right.
Your car.
There you go. But I think the technology is going to help it get better, because right now it's a mess, and whether it's too late and people are just like, shut it off.
It's gotten so bad that if you just craft something to me that's personalized slightly, I will give it attention.
Yeah.
Slightly.
Yeah.
And I'm talking even like the LinkedIn messages. I got one from LinkedIn Sales Navigator. Guy's like, hey, I know you used it at this company. I see you're with this company. Congrats on the move. How's things going? And it was very, it was crappily. I'm like, thank you for taking the time to pay attention to me for one, no one else, So it's kind of like that's where we've gotten to is it doesn't take much, just that.
Right.
And I'm in.
Do you notice there's companies out there that are sending emails, these, I guess spam is the best thing we can call it here, but they start out, the subject line starts out with RE : because that is what you're going to be drawing.
Because it looks like it's a reply to something you've already sent.
Yep. Yeah. And then there's companies out there that will say something along the lines of, your account information. And then it turns out to be Angie's List. Angie's List is blowing my email up with this your account information, and then it's just a bunch of their ads of people that are never going to respond to me. But I see through their.
That lady's got dead eyes, by the way. Those commercials are the worst.
Done with Angie's List.
The challenge across all this is stitching the identities. So if you get a display ad, how do I know you looked at that? How does it come back? And I send you an appropriate email? How do I personalize when you come to the website? And it's a challenge, and there's lots of things being done about that challenge. But it's finally getting to a point where I think both the political and the consumer pressure and the technologies are converging. So hopefully we'll see less of a overload of inappropriate and unnecessary messaging that just turns us all off. So that's what data-driven marketing will hopefully bring us.
Interesting.
So is it just, this group that you're a part of, or, what is it that the company, what is it that you do specifically in this area that, is it a service you offer? Is it?
No, so I'm Future Now Services is my company, and I independently I'm consulting with Ford and Ford Direct on that. DMAD as an organization, dmadetroit.org, is an association that's focused on direct marketing. And it's, historically been around since 1959 and was what you would all think it was direct mail, but is morphed into an organization to look at and bring information, networking events,
like best practices,
learnings, and so forth around this space that we've been talking about for the last 20 minutes, so half hour. So, invite anybody to check it out and join, and look forward to further discussions with you guys on all this. And by the way, my brother Mike, which is running for mayor of Royal Oak, so I'm going to put a plug out to him. So, Mike Skinner for mayor of Royal Oak, for any of you who are listening as we speak.
Vote for Mike Skinner.
What's he going to do for us?
He's going
no more parking tickets. I vote for you.
That's a side conversation.
Right.
Drink openly in the parking lot.
Right.
That's because I need more friends as mayors of cities. There you go. Yeah, exactly.
Clearly.
But hey, Bob, appreciate hanging out with us. If you need to hit you on LinkedIn, look at Bob Skinner. And I appreciate the time spent on this. Don't be a stranger.
Thank you very much, guys. Appreciate it.
We're going to take a quick break. We're going to be back with the guys from Booking Pop Culture Podcast, Rick Vivian, Jason Seifert. This is the IT and the D Show.
And we'll be right back.
IT and the D. Read, meet, listen. Networking Detroit. One beer at a time.
Hi, I'm Brittany Daniel from The Game, and you're listening to IT and the D Show.
ITinthed.com.
Welcome back, segment 3. This is episode 204 of the IT and the D Show. Often imitated, never duplicated. We're sitting here in Podcast Detroit in beautiful Royal Oak, Michigan. Bob, the sales guy. Dave, the geek. Nuri, the FNG. Randy, I do the Twitter's walker. Find us online, itandthed.com.
In today's workplace, huddle rooms are where small teams of remote colleagues come together to brainstorm and think up the next big product. To deliver an optimal environment for effective collaboration, huddle rooms need capabilities, such as presentation sharing and both in-room and room-to-room video connection. They also need great audio. That's where Dolby Voice and the Dolby Conference Phone come in. I have lots of experience with this. I think all of us do. We work in conference rooms and shitty conference room systems, or people who sit there and muck with them for hours. And is this thing on? Like I was on one today where the room couldn't hear me, but I could hear the room. And I get so fed up at bad conference systems. So Dolby Voice is a breakthrough audio technology that sets a new standard for how you can expect conferencing to sound. The Dolby Conference Phone brings full room 360-degree audio capture. Dolby Voice and the Dolby Conference Partner Phone delivers stunning audio quality that allows everyone to be heard and makes meetings easy to follow and participate in. And the result? Conversations flow naturally. And when conversations flow, decisions get made, innovation increases, and even widely dispersed teams become more effective. Additionally, Dolby Voice and the Dolby Conference Phone are now integrated with leading video conferencing solutions such as Blue Jeans Huddle. You have to hear it to believe it. Check out Dolby Voice today. Visit dolby.com/itandthed for a free demo. That's dolby.com/itandthed.
Dude, and it is ridiculous. Like, it has that whole feature set to it where you can, it knows where you are in the room. And so, like, if you've got headsets on, it spatially puts them where they are in the room as you're listening to them. Whoa. It's insane. It's so cool.
And when I think of any name in audio engineering, it's Dolby.
Dolby, yeah, go figure.
Time. Yep, exactly. Thanks for the support, guys.
Yeah.
So hey, we're joined. Luckily joined. It's been a while. It's been bugging you, but we got the team here from Booking Pop Culture Podcast. We got Rick Vivian, Jason Slaver. What's going on?
Vivian.
Thank you, guys.
Rick Vivian. No, and Rick. No, I was going to, but I'm not going to.
Dave did.
Yeah, he did. Rick is also in IT. Been in IT probably as long as Dave. Almost as long as me.
Roughly 94, 95. I don't know what that equates to. 20 some odd years. Yeah.
Pretty close. I got in 97.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Yeah. Been in IT forever. Recently, but what's interesting, and Dave brought it up early, is that for as long as I've been in IT and you've been an IT vendor, and I knew of Echo Base.
Oh, Echo Station back in the day.
Echo Station. We met through my refereeing of XICW professional
wrestling, right?
Yeah.
Wait, you're in IT, I'm in IT, we should be friends. Yeah. Hey.
Yeah. Well, I think even after a few events, I don't think I divulged to you guys that I was in IT. And then, oh, by the way, I'm an IT or a data center manager.
Yeah. Well, no, and not only that, you're like, I find out you're a sales guy. I don't want to tell you what I do for a living because I don't want you calling on me.
Well, there's that.
That too, right?
There's always that.
I'm used to that. But you guys have launched a pretty, I think it's a pretty great podcast. I think you guys
it's doing okay.
Do a good called Booking Pop Culture, but it's when you talk about podcasting now, there's like crazy weird niches. Like there's the one that just does grown-ups too. Reviews.
Well, I mean, if you think about it, it's not like we always say that this is basically what do IT guys talk about when they're at the bar.
Yeah.
Kind of got a similar flavor to it.
Wrestlers are on the road a lot.
Mm-hmm. There's a lot of downtime.
And they all drive together. There's a lot of downtime. And it's just kind of like, hey, or I guess tell me what a pro wrestler.
Well, real quick, got my hetero life mate and attorney, Jay, here.
Howdy.
Yeah. But yeah, it's basically, I wanted to do a podcast a million years ago. Jay and I were XICW fans from 8 years ago.
At least 8
It's
years
been
ago.
a long time.
Yeah.
And we wanted I think Cabana's podcast dropped about that same time. Mm-hmm. And we were listening to Meltzer and we were listening to Wade Keller's podcasts. And me being the kind of the tech guy, I wanted to do a podcast. I've always had an interest in radio engineering. I always say if I ever won the lottery, I would go to Specs Howard in an instant just because I want to. So I bought the equipment. We talked. And this is drunk talking at XI. I'm sure you're familiar with that.
No, no.
That never happened.
Never, ever, ever. But yeah, we were talking about wouldn't it be cool to do a Michigan-based Michigan wrestling or podcast similar to Top Rope Review, our buddies over at Top Rope Review. And that's what we talked about. We never really got there. I always kind of
Well, we were very close, and then you went to wrestling school.
Well, yeah, I've always felt like I'm not the guy to talk wrestling. I've never felt comfortable. At least, I'll talk wrestling over a beer, but talking wrestling to the internet, screw that. To me, that's similar to, what's your opinion on religion? What's your opinion on politics? What's your opinion on wrestling? It's all subjective. And I love to sit down.
Well, not just that, it's everybody knows everybody's right and you're wrong.
Yeah, everyone's an asshole.
Yeah, that too.
Yeah. So it's like I love sitting down and talking about these things, but as soon as somebody tells me that my opinion's wrong, why is my opinion wrong? So I never really wanted to talk wrestling. I've never felt comfortable to do that. But yeah, it kind of lent to, we were getting to know the boys. Eddie Venom, Jay Adams is a guy that I got to know right off the bat. Bubba McKenzie, Jamie Cox and the Scarbonis, those guys.
Johnny Delicious.
Johnny Delicious, yeah. Oh my God.
Well, yeah, and Jay's a riot because, I made fun of him for years on the 97.1 message boards and then on the ones that we ran after they shut that down. Because he was a wrestler. Yeah. And so it was always the, you wear tights jokes and all that stuff.
He was Jay the Cable Guy.
He was. Yeah. And then sure enough, literally, I think the first XICW event you dragged me to was the match before his retirement match. And he was like, seriously, you're coming to this now, 15 years later. Ass.
My fault.
Well, and it's similar to that. We kind of stumbled on XICW.
Yeah, we got a flyer at a ROH event to come see.
And it was Sabu and Necro Butcher.
Yeah.
And I'm like, dude, we got to go see Sabu. Because back in the day, early 90s, I was chasing Sabu as far as a fan, going to watch his show, watch any wrestling shows that Sabu was on. So I drug him to it. I only knew you for several months at that point.
Yeah, very early.
So we go to the Ritz. We sit down, and we're like, what the crap are we doing here?
That sounds familiar.
Oh, it's an experience.
Yeah, it was, and we proceeded to drink heavily.
Also sounds familiar.
Yes, and real quick, what was real interesting was the lady sitting next to me. At least she told me she was DBA's aunt. But I've never in this I've never seen this woman ever again. But I bummed a couple cool miles off of her because at that time you could smoke in the bars. And I think the main event was DBA and Levi Blue and maybe Bloody Bill. And all hell broke loose. All the chairs going. It was this was nuts. You were going back then too.
Oh yeah.
And the whole place had just come apart. And
it wasn't ever about the wrestling. It was all about drinking with everyone after.
Oh, insane.
Yeah. That's the best part was.
But so we obviously get separated. Everywhere. I'm standing in one corner, and I look up, and Jay's helping Levi Blue to the locker room. This is our first XICW show, and he's helping Levi Blue to the locker room. Like, what the crap did we just get into? I still have a lot of pictures of that.
I have a lot of pictures. Yeah. He kayfabed the hell out of me and was just dead weight.
Yes.
I was carrying him literally to the.
So Dave and I were on the Rogue One episode.
Yeah, we did the Star Wars review.
The one time you were so things have. I'm just joking. So things have changed since then because at Comic-Con we did probably about 4 to 5 hours of just Star Wars podcast, and the revelation came out that ruins Rogue One forever. That Darth Vader in probably one of the greatest scenes in Star Wars cinematic history.
Oh, you're going to kill me.
Vader uses the Force to pull the guns away.
And launch people up to the ceiling.
But doesn't grab the data
disc.
Yeah.
And doesn't blow the guy's heart up inside of his chest.
Well, pull his eyeballs the man's
out.
Wearing sunglasses. He's taking on troops. And the last guy, he
But that's what he was looking for. That should be his one.
He doesn't know it's on a data disc. All he knows is those plans are there, and he's going to find them, and these people are in his way.
But
the guy's going
the guy's got a mini disc.
It was on the planet. They knew what it was stored on. They knew that it was there.
It was a data transmission. It's ones and zeros.
It